Would be just whatever is on square footage per
I passed mine off. Yes.
Yeah, the bedroom in the building code is 70 square feet per person. Additional 50 for the second person, so it'd be 120. Maybe state requirements she may be talking about state requirements. Showed it. I thought he was going to go here and green.
Have you noticed the new light fixtures on our street? One right here. Appreciate that. This lady is going to meet with that. Oh, from Terry? No. She has a competition. I talked to her this afternoon. Her comments were nuts, that she would love to continue to serve. So that one, and then we got the out-of-state. Roddy's idea.
Nobody asked you to.
Today is totally different.
They sent him to the dungeon.
Actually,
he volunteered to go to the dungeon.
so we kind of eggs in one basket, just having teaching classes, trying to avoid that. And a bachelor's degree. Yeah. You're getting through all the miles of pressure.
There's always something added. Out-of-state travel, that's what that added.
It's jumping around. I can't scroll down. Why?
Yes, they do. She's passed away.
There we go. Yeah.
Got it.
I think so.
Call meeting order. Let us pray. Dear Lord, we just thank you for this wonderful day, and we thank you once again for the opportunity to come together and do work for this fine city. Lord, we just pray that you give us the best direction for our city, and just be pleasing to your sight. Lord, just bless this meeting in your name. Amen. Let the record reflect all council members are present. Just need an approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Dixon.
Second.
Second by Mr. Richardson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Need approval of the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Motion by Mr. Lewis. Second by Mr. Adcock. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The consent agenda passes. Did anyone sign up for public comments? No one signed up for public comments, so we'll move into a public hearing. Rezone 1100 North Broad Street. Patrick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is petition number 13-00255. It's the applicant is Beachy Investments LLC, care of HB Lands Company, and it's at 1100 North Broad Street, as you said. They're looking to take an existing PPD zoning, which is Planned Professional District, and rezone it to a B3 zoning. And we've got the code recommendation as approval, and the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission was also to approve with some study of a detention pond condition on the property. We've given that some attention, and it was properly designed when it was originally built, so it'll be readdressed when they redevelop the property, and any changes that are necessary will be done at that time. So that consideration's been made. So the property has been recommended to be approved for the rezone.
Okay. Property owner here? Okay. Come to the podium.
Mayor. For the record, I personally have a financial interest in the applicant and owner, so I will not be providing any legal advice to the council on this matter.
Thank you, Mr. Rosenthal. Okay, you got 10 minutes to address the council, and state your name. And
Okay, I'm Hal Breedlove with HB Lands. My partner, Larry Garner, he's also a Walton County resident. Pretty straightforward. It's 9.6 acres. It fronts on Highway 11. It's at the terminus of the extension of the Highway 138 road improvement project that's currently underway. It's in the National Land Use Plan as commercial. We bought the property in '06, banking on for the DOT to hurry up and do that project, and here we are in 13. But here to say is our intent was always to take it commercial when the market allowed it. So what we're looking for is a mixed commercial project. The PPD zoning, which was the previous developer, had townhomes in the rear with commercial in the front. and a development all at one time. That doesn't suit us, not only from the townhome standpoint, but also we're going to phase this site by site. We're going to sell and develop site by site. And Mr. Kelly, you're right, we will bring forward, anytime we sell a site, that detention pond will be reevaluated and either expanded or tweaked or whatever it needs to be done at that time. I did meet with Ms. Dixon and reviewed it with her, as well as Nathan Little, and I talked over the phone as his super district, but we welcome any comments. Again, we're looking for a mixed commercial park and really talking about a site-by-site development, meaning probably food, gas station on the front, and business in the back. B3 would allow us the flexibility we need as a blanket zoning to do that piece by piece.
Okay. Do you have any comment?
No,
Okay.
we'd love to answer questions.
All right. Council have any questions, Mr. Breedlove? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone else here like to speak for this rezone? Does anyone like to speak against this rezone? Okay, hearing none, we'll close the public forum and bring it to the council.
Mr. Mayor? I say that we grant the rezone.
We have a motion by Ms. Dixon to grant the rezone. Have a second by Mr. Bradley. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? That passes.
And I abstain due
And
to,
one abstention.
due to a family relative.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your consideration.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to it. Okay, under new business, we need an approval of the chamber contract. Ms. Terry.
As my chairman's walking out the door. Next year. I'll just give y'all a quick update real quick. As you know, our contract is based on per capita population, and that's the same with all the cities and the county. Walton County Chamber is a nationally accredited chamber by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. We're one of only 19 chambers in the state of Georgia that have this accreditation, and one of 34 that are a state certified chamber. We are in production for our map. Finally, I sent the final approval this morning, so it should have the maps here in about 60 days. I know we've had lots of requests for them, and I'm sure that people have been coming to City Hall looking for them too, so they'll be here in just a couple of months. We did launch our new chamber website this year, as well as our buy local website, continuing with our buy local campaign. It's www.buylocalwalton.com, so I invite you to check that out. And along with that, we also started a Walton Antiques Roadshow this year. As you know, Walton County's full of antiques, including the city of Monroe. And so we think that this will be a great way to promote Walton County as a day destination until we get a hotel or two. But for right now, a day destination. So we're excited about this initiative, and you can find them on the web and on Facebook under Walton Antiques Roadshow. Just want to say thank you for your support for Leadership Walton. I know we have two city participants in the program this year. We have Jack Armstrong from the fire department, and we have Marcia Queen from the police. Department. So we're excited about having those involved. One of the big questions this year was about the governmental affairs, political candidate forums. Our Governmental Affairs Committee decided, based on attendance at past city forums being mainly the supporters of the candidates running and no general public, that we could reach a lot more people by doing a candidate profile booklet. So I brought a sample just to show you. This is what we did in '04. You can just sort of see this. It's just like a picture of the candidate with their name and a brief write-up. Now, this is, I think, 50 words or less. What we've asked the candidates to send us is 100 words or less about bio of themselves and answer 2 questions, and then we'll publish those and get them out. We've asked for the information to be returned to us by tomorrow at 5, so we're hoping to have them out by next Monday when early voting starts next week. So that's our plan. We feel like we can reach a lot more of the general public to find out information on the candidates using this route versus a public forum. So that's what the committee's decided to do for this year. So let me know if you have any questions on that. I've already received some information from City of Monroe candidates, so that's great. And then one of our biggest projects we're working on right now is Walton Proud. You've got the brochure in your packet. Hopefully you've heard about it and seen information about it. It's our education initiative that was started and change the perception that some people have about Walton County schools on the local level, and then we'll take that outside Walton County and promote it to other surrounding communities to try to drive folks to Walton County and let them know about our great schools. But it is a partnership with both public school systems, Social Circle and Walton County, and both private schools, George Walton and LCA. So we're excited about that. Sadie's here, and I do want to give her a big thank you for letting us launch that at the Swing Medallions concert. That was our launch on September 6th, followed by a booth. The farmers market on September 7th. So that really got us in front of a lot of people that night. So Sadie, we appreciate you letting us almost take over your event there. So take a look at the brochure. We also have a website, waltonproud.com. We have a Facebook page. If you're on Facebook, go like us on Facebook. We have updates constantly and adding success stories of local graduates as well. So if any of you are graduates of Walton County Schools and would like to submit your success story, we would love to include you. In this initiative. Anybody have any questions?
Any questions?
How do you get those, the profiles out? You mail them or?
No, ma'am, we'll just distribute them in like high traffic areas, so doctor's offices, banks, bank lobbies. Of course, we'll have some at our office and take some to our events as well. We'll have some at the festivals that are going around on the 19th of October. There's one. In Loganville, there's one in Monroe on the 19th, so we'll have some available for citizens to pick up then. If you have any suggestions, we'd love to let us know if you know of other places you'd like for us to put them. Any other questions? Thank y'all for your
Thank you very
support.
much. All right. Just entertain a motion to carry on the chamber contract for another year.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Have a motion by Mr. Richardson.
Second.
Second by Ms. Scott. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Item number 2, we have application for beer and wine package sales, the Chevron Food Mart. I don't see the,
Anybody
okay.
here from Chevron Food Mart?
All
Move
right.
that to be tabled.
All right, motion to table by Ms. Malcolm, second by Mr. Adcock. All in favor? Any opposed? That passes. The next one we have is the appointment to the Housing Authority. And I'm trying to get her, Mary Kate Watson Eccles.
I talked to her, and she wants to remain on the board.
She said she'd be glad to serve again. So with that, are you making a motion to
I motion.
have a motion by Ms. Scott?
Second.
Second by Ms. Malcolm. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Item number 4, we have a resolution to supplemental lease GMA police vehicles.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a resolution for a supplemental lease, a resolution to authorize and direct the mayor of the city to execute one or more lease supplements for a lease or leases under the GMA direct leasing program to designate such leases as qualified tax-exempt obligations, to provide an effective date and for other purposes. Whereas the city has entered into a master lease dated as of September 25th, 2000 with the Georgia Municipal Association, Inc. for the leasing from time to time of certain equipment, machinery, or other personal property. Pursuant to supplemental leases. Now therefore be it resolved or ordained as follows by the governing body of the city. Number 1, the mayor of the city is hereby authorized and directed to execute and deliver a lease supplement pursuant to the master lease to put into effect one or more leases for 4 2013 Dodge Chargers, 4 2014 Dodge Chargers, 2 2014 Ford E350 vans, and 5 SUVs equipment uplifts, the leased property. Said officer of the city is authorized and directed to name and on behalf of the city to execute and deliver one or more lease supplements for the items of the leased property in substantially the form attached to the master lease, which changes and additions as may be approved by said officer, and such other documents as may be deemed by such officer to be necessary or desirable to effect the purposes hereof or of the master lease, and such execution shall constitute conclusive evidence that the executed document has been authorized and approved hereby. The aforesaid officer is further authorized to do all things necessary or appropriate to effectuate the purposes thereof. 2, any appropriation in the city's current operating budget has previously been made, which shall be sufficient to pay an appropriation, in the city's current operating budget has previously been made, which shall be sufficient to pay the rentals and the termination payment. During the starting term under such lease supplements. And 3, the lease or leases contemplated by the said lease supplements are hereby designated as qualified tax-exempt obligations within the meaning of section 265 sub B sub 3 of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 as amended, and said officer shall be authorized to confirm such designation by execution of appropriate documents in connection therewith. 4, this authorization shall be effective immediately. So resolved this 8th day of October 2013. That is the resolution, Mayor.
Okay. We need a motion for that resolution.
So moved.
Ms. Malcolm? Second by Mr. Adcock. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Item number 5 is a resolution for the DDA revolving loan fund for the Sparrow Hill Inn.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a resolution to endorse the Downtown Development Revolving Loan Fund application by the Downtown Development Authority on behalf of MG Alignment, LLC. Whereas the Georgia Department of Community Affairs Downtown Development Revolving Loan Fund program is designed to assist cities, counties, and development authorities in their efforts to revitalize and enhance downtown areas by providing below-market rate financing to fund capital projects in core historic downtown areas. And whereas MG Alignment LLC plans to acquire and renovate certain real property improvements located at 410 East Church Street in downtown Monroe, Georgia. And whereas upon completion of the project, the renovated property will serve as an event center and overnight lodging. And whereas the city has determined that the project will promote downtown development for the public good in the city. And whereas in order to help MG Alignment LLC finance the project, the Downtown Development Authority of Monroe has applied for a Downtown Development Revolving Loan Fund from the Department of Community Affairs, and whereas DCA requires evidence of municipal support for all projects that are the subject of a Downtown Revolving Loan Fund application submitted by a Downtown Development Authority. Now therefore it is hereby resolved by the City of Monroe, Georgia as follows, that the City of Monroe endorses the submission of the DDRLF application by the Downtown Development Authority of Monroe for the downtown project at 410 East Church Street on behalf of MG Alignment and agrees to support the development of the project. So resolved. This 8th day of October 2013. That is the resolution, Mayor.
Okay. Do we have a motion on this resolution?
So moved.
Have a motion by Mr. Bradley, second by Ms. Scott. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Item number 6 is the MGAG on-bill financing policy. You going to?
I'll take it.
Okay.
There's several attachments here. But this is basically the guidelines for the financing that Mike Mihalik spoke to you about last week for the gas authority. The first one being the financing guidelines, and then the customer application, the homeowner installation approval form, the member tracking form, and then at the very end, the very last one's the brochure, which is the brochure for the rebate program. If you want to take a look at it, it's got all the information. This is what we'll have in their pack. When we do our visit, there was a couple of changes made. Let's see, which one is that on?
This is the policy, the
Okay.
payment policy.
There was a couple of changes made, one being on the rebate. If we actually cut them a check, we have to disable the account, make it non-active, cut them a check, and then turn around and make the account active. Again. So after talking with Beth and Renee and all that, we come up with a deal where we'll just rebate their account or credit their account. That'll prevent a day's worth of disabling and enabling accounts to refund the money. And on the credit, there was something stated about the credit history, or basically what the plan calls for is it's residential loans only. And it's a minimum of 24 months of good payment history and or a current member credit rating policy for new service connections.
I think what we had in mind was if on the financing program, if you came in at your current location and needed to replace a hot water heater or a furnace or whatever, you would qualify for the financing. But we didn't see a need in running the credit history again. Just if you had good. Payment history, you qualified. If you're a brand new customer, then they would go under the current new customer policy, which calls for the credit check and the whole 9 yards. So those were a few changes that we had put in there that I think we talked about last week.
So we're not making this exclusive to just new customers. We are going to do the.
The rebate program is just new customers. Financing is to anyone.
But yeah, that's my question.
Yeah.
Because basically MGAG's doing the financing.
Right.
So,
I just remember we were getting a little convoluted last
Right.
week. And
yeah. The on-bill financing would be open to anyone.
Rebates only for new customers.
All for new customers, right?
And I see that you're talking with finance, you've looked at this, it can be implemented, and finance agrees. That this is the way to do it, is the way we've outlined it here.
Right.
Okay.
And you're not limiting which type of equipment. It's hot water heater, dual
On
fuel.
the finances, it does require it to be Energy Star rated, which is only going to give you hot water heaters, furnaces, and I think there's a few ranges out on the market now
Okay.
that'll qualify for the energy efficient.
This is only for gas, correct?
Right.
I'm gonna go back to the eligibility for loans. If it's an existing customer for other utilities but not for natural gas, would they qualify for the rebate?
It would be a new gas customer.
It says the new residential natural gas customer,
Right.
which would indicate it would be.
I think that was a toss-up last week. I think that was something that we
And that's,
were trying to figure out.
and
Because
that's what I want to clarify.
our intention was to go after the conversions, people who have no utilities with us whatsoever.
That's fine if that's what it is.
But-
I just want to be sure.
Well, that was the plan, but now I don't know when we can change it. I mean, I don't know whatever
I'm
you
not
want to do.
disagreeing with your
Right,
plan. I just want to
right.
be sure that's what we all in the same
Ronnie,
understanding.
my question is, that target area, is it inside the city limits? Or
No.
is that target area outside the
It's in the
city?
county.
So I have to ask, is that really fair? To our city residents
Right.
that are paying city taxes, and should they not be given that opportunity that if they want to switch to gas, to come on board and receive that rebate?
Right. And that's one of the things Mike had mentioned last week that another city ran into, and which they elected to make it available to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I just,
And I'm fine with that.
I just kind of have a problem with that. If they're a total electric customer
Right.
and they're wanting to add, which we've got a lot of those,
Right.
from new construction from 05, 06. '07. when everything was total electric. So, you know, that we've got the possibility and the potential to add a lot of customers if we offer it.
Right.
What's the amount of money you said was in the budget?
There's 5,000 sitting in there right now for
I mean-
marketing. That's what we'll use. And if the program goes well, we use that money, we'll come back to you and say.
That's what I think we're gonna have to do, is just see how it goes.
Yeah.
Maybe open it up, in my opinion. And if we see people switching over left and right, we're gonna have to revisit it and
Right.
talk about the money anyway.
I kind of agree with Lee, though. I mean, if they're a new gas customer, I think they need to get the rebate
Right.
along with whether they in or out.
I think one of the reasons we were gearing more towards the conversion was because we didn't want to compete with Brian on
More
electric.
people take away our electricity.
Right, and I understand that, but I just don't think it's fair to offer that
Right.
program to,
Most
You
people,
didn't want what? I didn't know what you said.
We didn't want to compete with Brian on electric territory.
But I think the
Well, you
way,
know what? Brian could offer some rebates too.
I think the way it's, written, though, it would be okay, because I'm reading it now, it says must be a new residential natural gas customer with the city of Monroe. So if it's a new residential gas customer, that would
Right.
qualify either way, I think.
right, but I think we just need to make sure
We all understand.
know what's going on.
So basically, the rebates are for new gas customers, residential only. It's
I
the
think you're gonna run
rebates.
into a
And
problem
then-
if you don't offer that.
And then the on-bill financing could be for any gas customer.
are we gonna limit it to this $5,000 that you're talking about?
On the rebate program, we'll stop at 5,000 and come back to you. Now, on the financing, it's
That can keep
it's
going.
ongoing. Like I said, it's all through the gas authority. So it won't
And I
be
think
anything.
you've got additional money in the next year's budget
Right.
for that.
Yeah, we
We're
actually
working on
increased it next year.
14, so.
And I would want to be sure that our media representative in the audience understands it when it gets written up in the newspaper. Because it is a little confusing, and it's the reason we keep talking about it.
Right.
So you're saying if you're an electric customer already in the city and you go to gas, you're gonna get the rebate or not?
Qualify.
You will. You will qualify.
If you don't, yeah.
You know, I think we've got a few customers in the city that are total electric, except they may have gas service for like gas fireplaces or whatever. Now, are they gonna qualify as a new gas customer?
That's a good point.
I'd say if there's a meter already there, then it's not a.
It's not, if they're using
Just so
gas,
it's
then
clear
they're not a
up.
new gas customer.
Well, there's a $10 minimum on a lot of people's houses when there's a meter sitting there and it's just cut off. So are they a new gas customer if they start pulling gas? More than $10?
I'd say for new gas service
Yeah.
customers, if they've got that gas service that's there, then they would not qualify. If they've just got it turned off. I mean, the gas service is already there. If they don't have gas service and they've got to have the tap,
Right.
then
Well,
they would qualify.
But what about the customers that pay $10 a month? And that's all they pay because the meter's sitting there, but their house is total electric.
Well, they're not a, well,
There's a lot of them.
I mean, there'd be a, that'd be
They're not
a
a
true
new-
incentive to get them to come over.
Yeah.
Because what's that tap fee gonna?
$100, but it's waived if they put in the furnace and the hot water heater.
Do we have many gas meters sitting at people's houses as total electric?
There'll be a few. I mean, there's not gonna be thousands of them or nothing.
Well, Nathan says there's a bunch of them.
I think,
You may have 100 of those that don't have electric.
Yeah, that's gonna go either way, depending on what you got, you know, what you're comparing it to.
It's gonna be a lot of their older homes, and they'll have the gas furnace, or they'll have a gas hot water heater, and that's the only thing they've got.
How y'all wanna treat that? Might need to get it hammered out before we vote on it.
I don't think there's gonna be many like Rodney said, so I think you could probably let them enjoy the benefit. I mean, if
It's
they,
another way to look at it. If they do go in and add a furnace, they're already a customer. That is an additional gas load you're gonna get.
that's what I'm saying, you're selling more gas, so I treat them just like everybody
You're
else.
achieving what you're out to achieve.
Right.
It won't be but a handful, if any.
A lot of these people that have the fireplaces have electric logs.
Yeah.
So you're promoting gas over electricity?
Well, I mean, I don't see this big rush to the appliance when you buy a gas furnace. You know, I don't see this big rush going out to just replace it.
And I guess it depends on who's here to answer the question. Okay, so then the next thing is what's more advantageous for the customer. And I guess there's some statistics now that claim that electricity would compete with gas.
If you'll look at the brochure,
Yeah.
there's actually a comparison there for the gas hot water heater and the electric hot water heater. Since Brian ain't here tonight, I guess I can. I can let loose.
Versus propane.
If you look at the very bottom, you've got the cost of a 40-gallon gas hot water heater, a tankless hot water heater, and then a 40-gallon electric tank hot water heater. And that's the annual energy cost. So you see the savings there.
Electricity.
And it is gas. Yeah, it's about $200 a year cheaper with gas according to this.
Well, you have that $5,000. Kind of a stop there, if you will, so we can always reevaluate it after that money runs out and just see how it's going. I mean, it might be, we can come back to you and give you some numbers and say, here's how it's working. It may, we may not see a problem at all, but you do have that $5,000 limit, so.
Great. Any more questions? Okay, if not, we'll need a motion. On the on-bill financing policy.
I move that we approve.
With all the stipulations that we've talked about.
What are they?
Y'all got it?
I think that if they do, or they're not paying a gas bill with us, is what we're looking at. In other words, that they may have the service run to their house, but we're not billing them for gas.
except for that $10 minimum.
Well, everybody's getting built
Well,
in.
if they've got it, they've got that base,
But
but,
we also talked about the fact that if they're already a customer and they add a furnace, that's additional gas load. So they still deserve the rebate for the furnace, really.
well, that's what I'm
So,
saying
okay,
is,
all right.
yeah. In other words, they're total electric. They may have the gas run there, but they're total electric right now. I'm saying you're wanting to go with it and let them, get the rebate.
And you can tell that
Right.
by their bill.
Right.
Right.
I think this is gonna be something that, gonna be situational, is you probably have to go back and look at what we've decided on tonight, and then when a situation occurs, might not be included in what we've agreed on. So I think it's gonna be situational.
I think you're right. I think we just start where we're at, and then Rodney and Renee can tell us, how things are going. If it's where we have to come back and redo some stuff. We can certainly do that. I mean, so, we got a motion by Mr. Purvis. We clear on the motion?
Sure.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second
We have a
that.
second by Ms. Mountain. Any more discussion?
I just point out one thing to Nathan's thing about promoting gas over electricity. I think what we're doing is promoting new appliances at this point, which happens to be gas, which I think is good for our citizens. It's good. Safer, more economical for our citizens. And
Well, it's good for the economy,
That's
too,
right.
go out and buy in.
Yeah, so I think it, I feel it becomes more of
Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Item number 7 is a discussion.
Mr. Mayor, do we need to vote on the on-bill financing, or was that included?
all included.
That was all included?
I think it was all
Okay.
included just
All
in
right.
the presentation. So,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
All right, item 7, discussion approval of out-of-state travel. Is that Rodney?
That's mine, Mayor. Bradley Sarles, our instructor at the training facility, has turned his resignation in. So we are without a trainer. So what I'm asking for, the ITS, Industrial Training Services, is the program that we use for training in natural gas, and they're located in Murray, Kentucky. It's going to be about 4 weeks before their guy can get here to train our guy. Problem we've got is we've got classes lined up for the next 3 weeks that we would have to cancel. One of those being Liberty Utilities, which was the big Atmos Energy. It's a big contract we just got that we kind of hate to lose, hate to move them. So what we're asking for is to let 3 of us run up to Kentucky. It'll be the week after next. It'll be for 2 days. We'll run up, get our certifications to instruct the classes. There's no cost other than just the mileage, So that's a ride up in the room at night, meals.
Okay. Any questions for Rodney?
I make a motion that we approve it.
Have a motion by Mr. Little,
Second.
second by Mr. Adcock. All in favor? Any opposed? That passes. And with no other business, we need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Richardson, second by Ms. Scott. All in favor? Meeting. Adjourned. There was a furnace meeting.
I'm getting tankless water here.
We're going somewhere else to back up.
Got a meeting?
First off,
We got a good team.